Hey, what's going on, guys? So, first of all, apologies for seemingly disappearing off the face of the planet for the last few months. On top of a recent trip to Paris I had, a recent editing gig I had too, and my review writing struggles looking a little something like this. No. It's been bad. But I'm back, and guess who else is too? Batman! Oh, what? Just 1 second. Batman! Now, I've actually been asked by a few of you guys to do a review of the Batman Arkham series, and whilst I have no plans to do full videos on each game, I'll give you my brief thoughts on the previous 3 games right now. Holy shit, you mean superhero games don't have to suck balls? Woohoo! Holy shit, this is how you do a sequel. Woohoo! Decent, but same old shit. So now we have the supposed conclusion to this tetralogy with Batman Arkham Knight, and let me just say forthwith that you definitely should not play this game until you beat an Asylum in City, because something happens at the end of City which plays a pretty big part in this game. Don't worry, this review is going to be spoiler free.
Now that would be highly irresponsible of me to allow that to happen.
So with that out of the way, what's the story? Well, Arkham Knight takes place after the events of City. A scarecrow shows up and threatens to release a deadly neurotoxin onto Gotham's population. Naturally, this scares the shit out of everyone, as Gotham's citizens all hightail it out of the city, leaving Gotham open ground for its unnaturally high number of criminals and mob bosses to run amok. And because the military apparently does not exist in this world, it's up to Batman to find and capture Scarecrow, on top of pretty much every other notable Batman villain who remains uncaptured. Seriously, has Batman successfully caught anyone ever? No? Alright. Well, to sum up my thoughts on the narrative, I'd call it incredible, if we hadn't already seen it before. Scarecrow I do like as a villain, but I feel like everything that can be done with him has already been done. The ground tread here is a little too familiar. You know, Batman gets affected by Scarecrow's fear toxin, Batman goes batshit crazy, then there's something in there about Bruce conquering his fears. Yeah, we've seen it before in Batman Begins and even the previous Arkham games. But to be fair, it is handled spectacularly well here. Because this game's major highlight is a certain character that pops up here and there throughout the game's world as a hallucination. And the way this character has one-sided conversations with Batman, and the way he just taunts him and tells it as it is just genius. Again, I really don't want to spoil who this character is, because when he first shows up, I was like, whoa! And then the screen cuts to black, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? His first appearance took me by such a surprise, it was awesome. So as this fear toxin gets to Batman, you see it affect him, but here's the interesting thing. You as a player are still in control. You experience firsthand what Batman experiences, and as a result, you start to feel rather confused and paranoid, but in a good way. It's hard to explain. It's like the game is trying to make you as a player go insane. And it's just so delightfully bizarre and trippy. It's some of the best interactive storytelling I've seen in a long time. Now the game has another major villain in the form of the Arkham Knight, which is funny because when I first heard the title of the game, I thought the Arkham Knight was referring to Batman. But no, the Arkham Knight is a new original character to this game who for some reason has a major grudge with the Dark Knight. And many reviewers have been saying that the reveal of the Arkham Knight's identity was too predictable. Personally, I had no clue who it was. So much so that when the character was revealed and I saw his face, I was like, okay, who is that? Then I figured out who it was and I was like, oh, of course, how did I not get that? Bring on the dunce cap. So yeah, me personally, I didn't predict the reveal. Just take one thing into account here. I am an idiot. Now Batman is as great a protagonist as always. He's rocked with so much guilt in this game and you really feel for him at times. Though one gripe I have with his character is this. He is ungodly stubborn. Both Nightwing and Robin offer their help in this game, but Batman shrugs them off, saying he's gonna save Gotham on his own. In fact, in order to prevent him from helping, Batman does something to Robin about halfway through the game which seems so out of character, and it ends up putting Robin in a very dangerous situation, and I was like, wow Batman, that was a dick move. Just seeing Batman wanting to do everything on his own and never wanting help because it will put people in danger. It's groan-worthy, just let people help you, man. But to summarise my thoughts on the narrative, I'd still call it great, despite overly familiar themes being explored again. It's only right at the end of the game we see something I've never seen done before in a Batman film or game, and as a result, I ended up loving the ending. It was quite ambiguous and open for interpretation. I just love it when films and games do that. It's just a shame though that you have to 100% the game in order to see it. And given how repetitive some tasks in this game can unfortunately be, means that I chose not to 100% Arkham Knight. Instead, I watched the ending on YouTube. That should not be a preferable option. So enough about story, let's talk gameplay. And if you played Arkham City and or Origins, then you'll know what to expect here. Open world, beat up bad guys, glide across rooftops.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
Seriously, that is so fun. The power of your glide can be further upgraded too, which by the time it's fully upgraded, you just go flying. It's great. The combat system also continues to be a lot of fun, with each hit here delivering a real solid impact that feels great to pull off.
Ouch.
And the stealth sections return, which are also cool. There's a sweet new mechanic where you can take down a series of enemies in one satisfying swoop. That's a lot of fun. But despite these new additions and a new vehicle, which I'll talk about in a bit, Arkham Knight still feels a lot like the other Arkham games. Which is fine, but after 4 of them now, it's getting a little stale. Something more needed to be done here to give this franchise a real good reason to keep going. You see, when I first heard about this game being set in Gotham, I got so excited. Like, holy crap, you mean I can explore this? The bustling, populated wonder that is Gotham City? Sign me the fuck up! But unfortunately, Gotham City feels no different than the world you explore in Arkham City. Why? Well, it's empty! Remember, the entire population of the city evacuates at the beginning of the game. As a result, Gotham feels less like a city and more like a battleground. Which would have been fine, but that's what Arkham City and Origins felt like. If Arkham Knight had a populated city to explore, then that would have helped it stand out from its predecessors. It wouldn't have felt so samey. Now, I get it, Rocksteady obviously didn't want a populated city because of Batman's no-kill policy. I mean, what would stop you from killing all of Gotham's citizens GTA style if they populate your surrounding area? But here's my idea. Why not do something quite unconventional for Batman and take an infamous approach to gameplay? If we as Batman want to kill who we please, then let us. It'd be something not seen before, introduce a morality system to a Batman game, and the people of Gotham would react to what you do, and you'd either be considered a hero or a menace once the game reaches its conclusion. But that's just an idea. Now the game's major distinction from the other Arkham games is the introduction of the Batmobile, and I gotta admit, hopping in, driving around and chasing bad guys is as fun as I thought it'd be. But things change a little bit when you hold down the L2 button.
Holy shit, Alfred! It's World War III out here! I need upgrades to my Gatling gun and rocket launchers pronto!
Master Bruce, sir, don't you feel as the Batman you should be taking a more, shall we say, civilized approach to the situation?
Fuck that shit, Alfred! These fuckers are going down!
Yeah, Batman has a tank now. Apply that logic and vice versa, man, and that'd be like giving Rambo pepper spray. Seriously, the Bat Tank is easily the worst thing about this game. Not because it feels out of place, though that doesn't help, no. It's because you use it so damn much. So much time is spent in this tank mode, shooting hundreds of drones. At first it's fine, but they go way overboard with it. Just to give you an example, there's these bombs scattered throughout the city, and every time you try to disarm one, an army of drones converges on you. But at one point you have to destroy like 40 drones. It's ridiculously overkill. And it's not like the drones you face have much to them, as they only come in 4 varieties. Normal drones, helicopters, missile launchers, and these weird stronger ones that can only be defeated by swerving behind them and hitting the weak spot on their backs. These guys are especially boring to face. Just wait around forever for them to turn around and shoot them. Again, and again, and again. I never thought being in the Batmobile could be so boring. We should be involved in high-speed chases, using cool gadgets to take down pursuers, not partake in Call of Duty Bat-Ops. But let's change the subject a little bit and talk about mission structure. As something you'll visit a lot is a screen where you select new missions, and as you progress in the story, more side objectives become unlocked. And I liked how a lot of these side missions have their own contained story. There's one where you had to help Catwoman escape from a series of challenges that the Riddler has set you. There's one involving Man-Bat, which when that side mission is introduced, well, you better be wearing brown coloured underwear. You see, you're just gliding along, minding your own business, when suddenly... But the major problem with these side missions is how repetitive some of them can get. For example, there's a series of side missions where you team up with Nightwing to take down Penguin's weapon caches, but each new mission in this side story uses the exact same objective. You find a van, you tag it, you follow it, making sure to stay out of sight. You infiltrate a hideout, beat up a room full of bad guys with Nightwing, and then use explosive gel to destroy some weapons. Repeat that same process several times. It gets pretty boring. And the same applies for other side missions too. There's one where you had to take down the villain Firefly. You use the Batmobile to power up some sprinklers for a building on fire. Firefly shows up, you chase after him, you beat him up, he then escapes, and then you do it all over again, several times. Then there's the multitude of Riddler trophies to collect, and am I the only one who's tired of them now? Sure, there's some interesting puzzles to solve to get them all, but therein lies the problem. Puzzles. He's not the puzzler, he's the Riddler. Why can't the Riddler side mission instead be one where Mr. Nigma hides about, let's say, 10 Riddler trophies in the city, and the only way to find them is by solving an actual riddle? For example, Riddler could send Batman a video message and be all like, "Riddle me this, Batman, with 3 eyes and as black as night. I knock down 10 men with a single strike. What am I?" If you want to try work that out, you can pause the video. Right, okay, it's a bowling ball. So that would tell you to break into a nearby bowling alley and look for the Riddler trophy there. Is that not a better idea than just selecting the nearest Riddler trophy on the map and going to pick it up again and again until you have them all? Let me know in the comments if you like my idea. I'd be interested in hearing what you guys think. Now, another problem with the side missions regards their completions. You see, this game barely has any boss battles, which, for a game set in the Batman universe, which is full of some of the most memorable and greatest villains in history, is beyond stupid. Most major villains you fight end up just being normal enemies in the field, and what few villains that do have boss battles are just incredibly disappointing to face. Either they just have normal enemies fight on their behalf, or you don't fight them at all. In fact, there is no boss battle with Scarecrow. Yeah, the game's major villain you never face. That'd be like playing Ocarina of Time and the fight with Ganon at the end was nothing but a cutscene. Admittedly, I still did like Batman's encounter with Scarecrow at the end because of how great the interactive storytelling was. it'd just be nice if there was some sort of challenge. That being said, there is actually one really good boss battle with the Arkham Knight. Not the one at the end, because that one sucks, but the one where he's in a giant tunnel clearing machine and he's chasing you in the Batmobile. That was awesome.
Stop running!
Now the game has a crap ton of upgrades to get, with upgrades to the Batmobile, to new combat possibilities, to new gadgets you can use, and whilst these rewards are nice, I would have liked something a little more. You see, when I completed the side mission with Catwoman, I was expecting I might be able to play as her in the open world. But no. You see, this is something that would have been very cool. You get to play as Robin, Catwoman and Nightwing every now and then during the story, but that's the only time you play as them. There's so much more that could have been done, like let us control Catwoman in some sort of burglary/infiltration mission, let us use Batgirl in some cool flashback moments, let us hop across rooftops as Nightwing, introduce a co-op option and let me and a friend kick some ass as Batman and Robin. This is the 4th game in the Arkham series. Playing as just Batman's getting a little old. And I know what a lot of you are probably screaming at me right now. That's what DLC is for. In fact, there is a prequel story with Batgirl out right now. Isn't that literally what you just said you wanted? Well, have you seen the damn price for the season pass for this game? Yeah, that is ridiculous. Granted, this is not the most expensive season pass for a game I've seen. Guess who that honour goes to? Surprised? But still, you can't call £33 a fair price just because another game is more expensive. Look, there's this website I frequent quite a lot called Hot UK Deals. It's a bit like Reddit but for good deals for various products. And I saw a link on that site for Batman Arkham Knight on sale on a site called The Game Collection for £30.55p. Yeah, the season pass is officially more expensive than the game itself. I don't care how much DLC they're offering, that is too much! How can additional content for a game be worth more than the game? I'm surprised I'm the only one who's talking about this. Not even Angry Joe mentioned it. I guess everyone's been in such an uproar over the terrible PC port that everyone's forgotten the mouth-watering amount of money they're charging for the season pass. Admittedly, 6 months of content is good, and the fact that the DLC is story-based makes it even better, but remember, it's content that they chose to withhold from the main release, to make more money. Now, I'm not against DLC or season passes, but they need to sell for a reasonable amount. No more than £20 I think, and even that's pushing it. Okay, I feel like I'm tearing this game to bits here. It's honestly a really good game. And I wholeheartedly recommend it if you love the previous Arkham iterations. It's a darn good looking game at least, on PS4 anyway. I didn't notice any notable frame rate drops or bad textures or anything. For me, it ran flawlessly. Major props as well to the voice cast. Kevin Conroy as Batman is just definitive Batman. And that other guy who I can't name because if I did then that would be a spoiler, but I really want to tell you how awesome he is because he really is awesome. Yeah, he's awesome too. If you played the game you know who I'm on about. Alright, let's give Arkham Knight a score. And I feel generous. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The major problem is just how repetitive Arkham Knight can get at times, mostly with a bat tank, but it makes up for it with solid combat, great graphics, fantastic voice acting, and how with this game, you feel more like the Batman than ever. Now Rocksteady, you've done 3 Batman games now. Now get to work on another certain superhero that needs a good game. Please?